Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Time and time again, we see the SNP make an announcement. We're going to be doing this. This is our new policy. And then, within days, there's a U-turn. Because after having made the announcement, people point out how stupid it is, how expensive it is, and indeed, how impossible it is that they are forced to U-turn. And this is because, of course, they never look at consequences. And it's no different today. We are having another U-turn. Hasn't officially been announced yet, but you know it's coming. And this one, of course, is on heat pumps, because it's now been shown that they will absolutely destroy everything. And it isn't going to happen. And indeed, it's their own previous policies have made them almost impossible to install, because they also demanded planning permission for various things that they said would help. Only now, that same planning permission that they pushed for various things has come back to bite them on the arse. And it's about time. And so there's a picture here of a very angry, tiny man called Patrick Harvey. And I think he realises that yet again, another green policy is going to bite the dust, because they're all morons. Great, isn't it? You can't help, you couldn't make it up. How can this party get everything wrong? Do you know that since this particular government has come in, I don't mean like from, the 14 years of it or whatever, I mean simply this period of government since the last election, they haven't successfully put through a single policy yet. Everything, and I mean 100% failed. Nothing has gone through. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But that's what you get when morons are allowed to make decisions. Anyway, gonna have a look at this, see what's going on. Here goes. So Patrick Harvey's mad heat pump rules could cost businesses £100,000 each and be a bureaucratic nightmare. And this is where we're going to start seeing the U-turn on this, because no business is going to sign up for it. And of course the SNP know that they need businesses on board, and that isn't going to happen. So the Scottish Greens Minister's threat to homeowners over their heating systems could prove costly to thousands of Scots, to millions of Scots, who face paying considerable sums for heat pumps. It will absolutely destroy the economy. So Patrick Harvey's mad heat pump rules could cost businesses up to £100,000 each, and also become a bureaucratic nightmare for firms. It comes, as Humza Yousaf hints, at yet another Scottish Government U-turn on costly environmental proposals. He cannot do it. He cannot afford it. The country cannot afford it. And even if they could, it would make zero difference. So the Scottish Greens Minister hinted at punishing Scots for having gas boilers by making their homes unsellable, by changing the EPC rules to make it impossible for them to get a C rating. This could become an unofficial ban on them selling their property. How dare he? What is it to him? He is not even elected by the people. He does not represent any constituency. Nobody who fails to win a constituency should ever be allowed to be a minister. It has now been revealed that businesses could face a massive £100,000 bills to install the new heating system, paid for by firing people. And it will also have to apply for planning permission, the very same planning permission that the government brought in a few years ago to say we're going to protect the environment. So there's no guarantee that the planning permission would even be given. And so you're going to have a council could refuse planning permission for a company that is required by law to have this heating system in, and then the company would do what? Close and move south of the border. Excellent. Just fire everybody. These people are fucking morons. Anyway, some homeowners will have to do the same, with the planning permission, and will have to splash out up to £35,000 just to pay for their heating system in their house, of which they already have a perfectly adequate and good heating system. £35,000. Imagine every home in Scotland had to pay that sort of money. All that money that comes out of the economy, that goes straight into heating and whatever. Everything that is not essential collapses, closes, mass unemployment. And I don't mean a lot of people unemployed. We're talking several 100,000 people at the very least immediately unemployed. Who's paying the dole for that? Who's paying for that? Taxpayers, the ones that are left working. we'll be having 60, 70% income tax. Unbelievable. That's what these people do, because these people are so fucking stupid. They are room temperature IQ. They should be on no account ever allowed anywhere near power. Give Patrick Harvey a colouring book and tell him to keep trying till he can stop going over the lines, and you've found the only thing that you can ever trust him with. He is a moron. It is part of the SNP Green administration's aim to make sure all properties in Scotland are carbon neutral by 2030, which is impossible. It is absolutely impossible. And carbon neutral, this carbon zero stuff that they're on about, it's been shown A, to be impossible, B, to be a hoax and a fake, and C, it has got nothing to do with the environment and everything to do with control. It will cost £33 billion. Now, Scotland is having a problem now, trying to balance the budget with £1 billion missing. Now multiply that 33 times and do so when there's maybe 1 million unemployed people in the country. Good luck. And where every business is struggling and some have gone under. Good luck. And where so many people will be packing up and leaving and going south of the border because they cannot live into those conditions. Good luck. Unbelievable. Critics have blasted the plans. It is punishing Scots during a cost of living crisis. It would be punishing them at any time. All you have to do is say all new houses have to have these, and they get installed at the point of construction. And that way they're in there as part of the cost. Nobody is having to fork out to replace them. And then, of course, you never ever sell a new house in Scotland, but that's an entirely different thing. Tory MSP Douglas Lumsden told the Daily Mail, forcing businesses to install heat pumps would not only be extremely costly, but a potential bureaucratic nightmare. Firms are already toiling because the SNP have failed to pass on rates relief available south of the border, while making Scotland the highest taxed part of the UK. You think your taxes are high now? They're nothing. You'll be dreaming of having taxes like this in a few years' time. This will be like utopia for taxes. He said the last thing they need is further expense and red tape. Oh no, the government love red tape. It means they can control. They can get in and get every aspect of your business. I'm surprised actually that the SNP haven't installed a business officer, a political officer in every business. It wouldn't surprise me. The Politburo in Russia used to do that. And it wouldn't surprise me if the SNP aren't thinking of having a political officer in every business in Scotland. Business Energy Scotland, which is funded by the Scottish Government, confirmed that it will be costly for businesses to make the radical changes. They said it is possible to have a heat pump installed for around £10,000, but it isn't unknown for large premises to pay up to £100,000. Now this £10,000 heat pump, let me tell you what that is. That is the actual pump unit that sits outside your house and pumps the air in and does the heat exchange. That's all it is, the £10,000 for the heat exchanger. There you go. Now, if you don't have the correct type of pipes in your because you've probably got the wrong type of gas central heating for these heat pumps, so then you'll need to put in all new pipe work, all new radiators. That all has to be paid for. It's $10,000 for the heat pump, for the purchase and installation of the heat pump, but to connect that to a workable framework, a workable set of pipes and radiators, you're talking another £15,000-20,000. They're telling you it's £10,000, they're going to give you £5,000 off it. That's just for the heat pump. Does nothing for the pipes, the radiators, because the current gas radiators aren't suitable for it. They're nowhere near suitable. So you have to have these extra large, ugly gas radiators, heat pump radiators, the bigger pipes. It doesn't get as warm, so you have to leave them on constantly in order to keep the house anywhere near approachable living temperature in the winter. And electricity obviously is way more expensive than gas, so your fuel bill goes right through the roof. And of course it isn't that clean because most of your most of your electricity is supplied by fossil fuel burning, so it's no different burning gas out there or in your home. Same difference. So it isn't doing anything for the environment. It's costing you money, it's destroying your economy, and it's to do what? It's so that little wankers like Patrick Harvey can sit and masturbate furiously at the thought that he's got some form of control. It needs to be rejected. And every business that's forced to do it can just simply close the business, make the people unemployed and move south of the border. There you go. Jobs are good. But First Minister Mr Yousaf has already hinted at a potential U-turn. Of course he has, because he knows. He knows. He said just days after they were announced by his government colleague Mr Harvey, he said this. He suggested that the EPC proposals would be watered down in face of mounting criticism. As he says, we will see how far we get in bringing forward the plans. You won't get anywhere. You will get nowhere. Also, there's not enough people installing them. You can't make them enough. And what are you going to do? By forcing this on, you're just giving money to China. £33 billion to China. That's not the right way. Now, if you to say, OK, I'll tell you what we do. We build a factory in Scotland and we'll make our own heat pumps. And then you made them in Scotland and you said all new builds must have them and they must install them from this Scottish one. I'd understand that. Not going to cost anything. And it's bringing trade in. It's keeping the money in the country. But that's not what they want. What they want to do is take £33 billion of money and give it to China in order to impoverish the country, destroy the economy, make sure people have never got enough money ever again in their life to be independent, and they're then totally imbued to the state because they haven't got the money to do anything. The state takes complete control. They're telling you you can't sell your house. It's your property. You can't sell your house because some tit from Leven says, oh, it's not the right sort of heating in your house. I tell you, it's about time you got your pitchforks and burning torches, marched on Holyrood and brought your bits of rope and dangled some of these bastards from the lampposts. Do it. You only have to do a few. Don't need much rope for him either, do you? There's only little. So do a few danglers and then the rest of them will soon buck their ideas up. Anyway, ministers are bringing in commercial premises in line with domestic ones, so planning permission would not always have to be sought, but there will be still situations where consent will be needed. A change to EPCs will lead to thousands of homeowners failing the government's strict environmental standards and therefore unable to sell their homes, unable to rent them out. Here's the other thing. If you don't have a house up to snuff and you go, right, I'm sorry, you're going to have to throw the tenants out, where are the tenants going to go? They're homeless. That's fine, but it would be illegal to put them in a house that doesn't have the suitable EPC rating. So what you do is you throw them out, you say, fine, sorry, I've got to close it down. But if you go and see the Scottish Government, they'll rehouse you because they've thought this whole thing through. And off you go, shut the door and lock it. They are stupid, aren't they? They are thick as two short planks. A Scottish Government spokesman said, we are consulting on proposals that would make it quicker and cheaper for businesses and homeowners to install equipment, including solar panels and heat pumps, helping reduce their bills and cutting carbon emissions. Complete, utter lies. Firstly, they're not going to pay for any of it. Oh, we'll bring the price down. Bring the price down doesn't mean it's free. They're not paying for it. And also, once you get the heat pumps, they're not the ones who are paying for the increase in electricity cost that they cost to build. They're not the ones also having to pay to run extra electric heaters in your house because that heat pump isn't producing enough heat. So you've got your little blowy heaters and they're really expensive to run and they're not very good. But hey, this is the Scottish Government for you. Joined up thinking? Never. Anyway, I'm going to round up and come up. So how many people do you know have got £35,000 laying around doing nothing so that they can sit there and think, you know what, I've got a perfectly good heating system that keeps my house nice and toasty warm, provides me with ample hot water and is never a bother. But instead I'm going to rip all that out. I'm going to spend this £35,000 putting in a very inefficient heating system that doesn't heat my house to the required amount, that doesn't give me ample supplies of hot water, and which is vastly more expensive to run. But at least then there's a tiny man up there in Holyrood who thinks I'm doing a good thing, even though I'm not actually doing anything for the environment whatsoever. I'm merely massaging his ego. No one's going to do it. Everyone needs to reject it. Everybody's got to say no. No. Just say no. Write to your MPs, write to your MSPs, write to your councillors, write to everyone and say no, we reject it, we're not doing it. And if you try to stop me selling my house, I will take you to court. And no one do it. No one. Because what they're doing isn't in the name of the environment. It is all about control. Because it's very hard for them to turn gas off. But you know what? They can turn electricity off like that. And that means they can freeze you out if you start thinking the wrong thoughts or saying the wrong things. All about control. Said it before. And by making you poor and forcing everyone to do it, and not everyone can afford it, so they have to take out loans, which makes them, again, beholden to the bank. And when they can't make it, the banks can steal their houses. You see, it all fits. Everything here fits. And if you don't see it, you really need to open your eyes onto what is happening here. They keep talking about net zero. Net zero is a lie. It's been proven to be a lie, and it is, of course, impossible. By very means of your existence isn't net zero. They have a problem in that they try to obey their WEF paymasters, but the people are rejecting it. And we need to keep rejecting it time and time again. So just refuse. Just refuse. And then tell them there's an election coming up. And if you vote them out, the next lot will be vote. If you vote them out and tell them why you're voting them out, the next lot will look at that and go, Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see in here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, we can resist everything. We are many, they are few, we will win. Bye.